for the top 10 shootout in the very first race of the championship. We cannot wait. We have an exciting lineup here this weekend, so let's kick off the day on track with improved production. Calling all the action in race 3, it is a very good morning to Matt Nolte.
Good morning, Jess. Good morning to everybody. Yes, nothing like waking up in Adelaide on the 1st March Saturday morning. Yes, it's the Adelaide 500. That's a proud parochial South Aussie you're hearing from right now. And there's a guy that we didn't get to see too much of yesterday in improved production, Cameron Vandendungen, who'll carry our in-car camera, the 40 Winks Mazda RX-7, back in the field. Andy Jones is alongside me. They've turned on some brilliant racing so far this weekend.
Yeah, they certainly have, mate. You are a proud South Aussie, aren't you? And you love coming back here for this event, as we all do. We are riding on board with our own Cam Vandendungen. We know him from his pit lane exploits, and some of the information he brings us from down there is absolutely terrific. His racing this weekend, though, not so. Unfortunately, no. He's been struggling with some mechanical issues and not a lot of track time.
It's been very frustrating for the cars been worked on since late last year and into early 2018. Chris Brown will start from pole position. He got a 5-second penalty at the end of the race yesterday. Didn't affect the race result in the end, but the big talking point was Ray Hislop breaking down on the final lap. He's in the background of that shot, so the number 1 Falcon starting from 26th position. Watch him on the charge over the next 8 laps, and like we saw the in-car shot then, Cameron Vandendungen starting from the back of the field alongside Bruce Henley that we've seen in sports sedan competition for many years.
Yeah, Ray Hislop, he has plenty of straight line handling in that car, so we'll see him make some pretty short work of the guys towards the back as we look at one of Virgin's finest planes coming across the city of Adelaide this morning.
Coming into land, and being the plane nerds that we are, I'll tell you exactly where that's coming from, Andy.
Flight Trucker.
It's coming straight in from Melbourne right now, bringing all the race fans in for this afternoon's Adelaide 500. I need to get a life. I know you don't need to say it.
No, I love it as much as you do.
A magic morning. The cloud that was hanging around earlier today just starting to burn off, and we're in for a fantastic afternoon. The Almirall top 10 shootout to come up this morning, and then 78 laps and 250 kilometres of racing. Went for a wander around the track last night and having a look at the damage down there at turn 8. Quite significant after those cars that went into the fence. Let's say hello. We didn't get a chance to do this yesterday. Cameron Vandendungen, who'll start from the back of the field. Good to see you with the overalls back on, mate.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to be out here. I've got to say a huge thank you to James, who's worked on this car tirelessly. Done a great job, and also Jamie Augustine from Motec. They have gone over this car. We're doing some trialling for them on the M130 computer, and whenever you're doing some trialling, boys, you can have some dramas, but they have been fantastic.
Mate, I know it's been a little bit painful for you. You're so looking forward to coming over here and running around. Limited track time. You're going to have a heap of fun today carving your way through from the back of the field.
Well, Andy, you've been giving me some great advice, mate. I'm just hoping to put it to the use, good use out here. I've only done 1 lap of racing, so here, fingers crossed. I've got a challenge here, though, because where I am, I missed the repeater point, and I can't see the lights. So I'm going to have to go, boys, because I'm going to get the team to tell me when I'm allowed to go.
Hey, mate, just quickly before we go, where's that 40 Winks store again?
Andy, I couldn't hear you, but I'm going to tell you something that Kimi Räikkönen says. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing.
First time he's ever said that in his life. Getting set for a start here, so he can see almost the gantry. There he is in the back of the field, but it's Brown and Walden on the front row. We're underway in race number 3 of the improved production cars here once again on the streets of Adelaide. Looks like Ingram in the RX-7's trying the outside run here. Won't be able to do it. The track funnels away into turn 1. Brown on cold tyres just squirms his way to take the lead up Wakefield Street on lap 1.
Chris Brown with his signature oversteer on the exit of every corner pretty much this weekend. So he hasn't disappointed us. And our man Cam Vandendungen, he's made it through there nice and safely, as has the rest of the field.
We'll take a lap or so to get the dust that's on the track there noticeable, wasn't it, going down into the centre chicane? We had a track walk this morning for the race fans who could walk around here for the first hour. The whole range of cars are on display on the Barry Sheen pit straight, but now we get serious on this Saturday as this improved production car field weave their way down Bartels Road for the first of 8 laps.
That was a great shot, and I noticed that Chris Brown, he runs an open-face helmet there, and with the early morning sun, he's decided to do his best Dick Trickle impersonation. He's got a pair of sunglasses on to sort himself out with the glare, so that's terrific.
Such a Days of Thunder fan, aren't you? Look at this, 4 wide down into turn 9 of the hairpin. Someone has to give. The RX-7 to Matty Ingram now running wide. He gets a big aggressive curve on the left-hand side. He'll drop 2 or 3 positions as they sweep their way back into into turn 10 and turn 11.
It doesn't take much when you're on the extreme outside there in the marbles, as Ingram was. You know, you could see him trying to turn that car, no grip out there, and it's just understeer. It plows, and you know you're going to end up on that awkward exit curve.
So Marinelli's moved his way up into third position as they come through to complete the first of 8 laps. Brown has a 1.1 second lead over Ingram as they head down pit straight and into the centre chicane. Walden, who started on the front row, has dropped down to 5th position now, and Ray Hislop is up to 18th place from 26th on the grid right now. So watch for him to pop in the shot, maybe around lap 4 or lap 5.
I mean, he's arguably the quickest guy out there, isn't he? So he is, like I said, going to make his way through the back half of this field very, very quickly. But once he gets up to around that 10 to 7 mark, it's going to be a bit more of a challenge for Ray. And he really needs to be careful here. He is the Blue Falcon with the headlights on the left-hand side of the shot. And this is where it's busy for him, and he could get a bit caught up in this traffic. The extreme inside of 3 cars is always a tricky place to be. We held our breath.
Exactly. Seriously busy where he's coming through at the moment. So he's moved up another couple of positions now and nudging his way inside to the top 15 as the 74 spins of Reynolds. And almost collected. Was that Scott Aho? I think it was.
He was in the thick of it yesterday, wasn't he? And we thought he was just about to get in the thick of it there too. So great evasive action there from Scott Aho.
And that's Andy Sarandis, who got the 22-second penalty for contact down there at the turn 9 hairpin yesterday. So the 99 Lancer is up to 12th place.
Geez, look how busy it is here. Ray Hislop, he looks like he's trying to find a car park for a Boxing Day sale there, doesn't he? There's cars everywhere.
You had experience doing that, have you?
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Up to the hairpin they go. So Matty Ingram starting to stack the field up. Sarandis with the car pace, but nowhere to go here as we start the 3rd lap around this Adelaide street circuit. A whole range of cars and drivers from right around Australia who've been itching, chomping at the bit to be here for this race in Adelaide. As we take a look at a replay of the start.
Ingram, for me, got the jump from the left-hand side. We have seen that P2 position so far this weekend across all categories has been the place to be. Cam van der Dungen, he was making sure his hair was okay in the mirror there, and he missed the start, unfortunately.
He was about 2 days late leaving there.
I'm not sure he's ever going to live that down, is he? I think he's just happy to have taken the start line, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a relief. Oh, I've got a race.
I can't help but feel like we've contributed to that. We did chat to him pretty late on there, so he'll settle into the rhythm pretty well there. And look, for Cam this weekend, he said he's doing a fair bit of work with Motec, and with that comes some niggling issues. Here's this replay of Reynolds going around. That was a fairly easy spin for him. We didn't see the replay there, but it was when Scott Aho started to head towards him that looked a bit dangerous.
And that was like Walden's contact with Walden, that little Datsun 1600 as well. Glass shattering down. This was Matty Ingram. Surfs up in the beach down at the centre chicane.
Cleared all the stones. No. Dragged a few on. Do you know what we call that? That's called a head rattler. And he would have bounced his head between those two.
It's still going on. Sorry to jump over the top. That was Jow, who was collected by another car going through the chicane. To jump on board with Van den Dungen now. The 40 machine, the 40 Winks Mazda Hawthorn entry is now up to 20th place. And he's reporting back that there's a weird noise coming from the back of the car. Now, we don't know whether it's him or it's the engine that's making that noise, but he's pushing the number 20 Mitsubishi now, Ian Statham, looking to make the pass down here into the centre chicane.
Given how excited Cam has been to race, I think as long as that noise is not terminal, he's going to stay out there and just try and see the checkered flag today.
Had trouble keeping this engine cool all weekend long as he pitches left front, and the Tirana gives him a bit of racing room. But nonetheless, he's made up 11 positions so far in this race. Won't be able to do it on the outside.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will.
Shut my mouth, Matt Nolsey. He's done it.
Great racing room there, given by both parties. And you can only do that when both guys contribute. You know, you need to do it with the right person. Cam's got a bit of confidence in his car at the moment. His tyres will be pretty fresh compared to others, given the lack of racing miles that he's done so far. And a little bit of extra grip enabled him to go around the outside. Job well done.
Puts him up to 18th place now. Meantime, it's still 4 seconds between Brown and Peter Ingram. The next to Mazda RX-7's up in second place. Ian Statham behind Vanden Dungen now, who's been a regular here for many, many years in production car racing at tracks like Mallala. We go back to our top 5 runners heading down the straight. So 3rd, 4th and 5th you're watching as we're into lap 5. Just like that, we're in the second half of this race. The improved production cars kicking off this Super Saturday at the 20th anniversary Adelaide 500.
And for those out there that are following the progress of Ray Hislop, he's up to P7, just did his first lap without any real traffic, managed to set the fastest lap of the race. So cheeky 7/10ths faster than Chris Brown. So at this rate, he is going to hunt those guys down. And for me, it would be a pretty impressive effort for him to be able to at least even get up into the top 3, chase down the Gibb and Ingram.
4 seconds a lap quicker than the 2 cars ahead of him, so that should be easy pickings for the Big Falcon. As down Bartels Road we go once again with the sun rising, blazing right into the driver's eyes down into turn 8 as the little 1600 squirms its way through turn 8. Can't stress, I went for a walk down here last night. The amount of damage to the walls, they replaced 3 of the concrete blocks there last night alone. The sign riders were far from impressed about having to respray it overnight. It certainly claimed some cars yesterday during practice and qualifying.
Yeah, and really guys going in a lot harder there than we've seen in years gone by, and just shifting those 4.5-ton concrete blocks. So not a little bit of weight to move.
Yeah.
I guess when you're firing a 1,500-kilo vehicle at 200-odd Ks into it, it will shift it pretty quickly.
They do their job, but still they have their limits. Here they come, lap number 6. We watch the 1600 of Michael Nagyb and David Walden, who's starting to claw his way back up from dropping down as low as 6th in this race. Now runs in 4th. Brown is disappearing into the morning sun. He's 8 seconds clear of Peter Ingram in the RX-7.
Ingram also donning the sunglasses there under that helmet, so definitely needed this morning. Plenty of sliding around for these guys. Cool conditions, so they would have just played with their tyre pressures off the end of the race that they did in the heat yesterday afternoon, and very different conditions for these guys this morning. Look how much that Dado is squirming around, but who's looming in the background?
What's the background? Yeah, the blue Falcon is suddenly coming to shot. There he is, Ray Hislop. He's going to join this group. He's 6th right now, and 3 seconds a lap quicker. He's Pac-Manning these cars down Bartels Road into turn 8, and dramas at the top of Wakefield Street now for Chick in the 43. And look at the damage to the back of that car. I believe there would have been contact.
Oh, I have to say absolutely. Let's get a little look at the replay here.
It's a long way back.
Oh wow, looks like an issue for Chick. Wow, I can't help but feel that was a brake failure or a gearbox failure of some description. Chick puts his hands up and says that's my fault altogether. But in that first replay we saw there, you could see some smoke out of the back of the Chick car as he, for me, should have been applying the brake pedal, and then from that point there, it's like the front brakes have gone, the rears have locked, effectively like someone's pulled the handbrake on, and that's why the rear of the car came around and ended up making contact.
Hislop sweeps past 2 cars and now gets himself up in a 3rd position.
Made easy work of it, didn't he?
He did. With 2 laps to go, though, he's 16 seconds behind Brown, but could catch Ingram, who's 5 seconds. We heard him just turning into turn 4 at Wakefield Street. So if he got to 2nd, it's a job well done, considering that car started down in 26th position.
That's an amazing effort. Ray Hislop, he really sets the benchmark for this category, doesn't he? That car is beautifully turned out. Massive package of spares comes along to continue that car running. So they had a gearbox issue yesterday and fired the one that was in the car that caused the issue out overnight and put a new one in. Race on today. So final lap of the race yesterday caused Ray Hislop some issues. Let's hopefully have him see the checkered flag today also.
He's got power to burn, hasn't he? That blue Fiat Falcon sweeping out of turn 9. So up into 3rd, he's reeled in Ingram. Just saw the Mazda RX-7 that had a complete overhaul during the summertime break. I think he might get him here.
Interesting to note with the Hislop car today, previous couple of days of racing, we've seen that car not look that happy on the road. Very understeering type of car, and when we talk about understeering, it's when the driver turns the steering wheel either right or left and the car wants to continue to point straight ahead. So he doesn't look like he's having that problem today. He seems to be able to hit the apexes and the tyres are not tucking under the front of the car.
Oh, this is Matty Ingram. He just misses the back of the car ahead. And he's running back, the 23 car at the moment, running back in 11th position. Almost got it into the back.
Good job to avoid contact.
So here he is now, Hislop on the back of Peter Ingram. In the RX-7, Brown won't be touched. It's 14 seconds now. First to second, Hislop don't undo all the good work now.
You'd have to say he's going to get him, wouldn't you? It's just more a case of where, up until that mistake happened.
This is where it happened yesterday, didn't it? Just about now is where he had the gearbox issues.
Don't put the commentator's curse on him.
This would be the first time. I had to avoid Matt Brabham yesterday for that reason. Down into turn 8. Gets him done nicely. And we'll have to settle for second.
It's a mammoth effort, though. Mammoth effort from the rear of the field, effectively, to get up to P2.
Well, Vanendungen's got himself up to 14, so he's passed 17 cars in this race alone. But nobody is going to catch this car. The Newlon Toyota Sprinter comes out of the final turn, gasses it up nicely to take another victory in the improved production cars this weekend at the Adelaide 500. Chris Brown does it by a country mile.
Sure does. Well done, Chris Brown. A bit of smoke on board here for Cam Vanendungen. Is he going to make it to the finish? We've got our fingers crossed for our man there.
The live studio audience are holding here with bated breath to see whether it will make it to the finish line. Hislop got home for second, and here is the 40 Winks Hawthorn Mazda RX-7 in 14th place. Actually on his flying lap of the race as well, even with the smoke inside the club. Cam, is it going to hold on?
Yeah, mate, how long have I got to go? I don't know.
Last lap, mate, we're wishing you on here. It looks like the cabin, a little bit of smoke on board. We'll have to get your lungs checked out after this race.
Mate, the good thing is we've got a break till tomorrow. Just check the flag, please tell me. Woohoo! I finally finished the race, boys.
I'm proud of you, mate. Well done. 14th position from 31st on the grid. He brings the 40 Winks Hawthorn Mazda RX-7 home inside the top 15. You can slow down now, Cam. The race is over.
Hugely popular category over here, improved production, and it's all off the back of the race that these guys as a category provided last year, and they're not letting us down, are they? It is sensational to watch.
Capacity filled once again here at Adelaide, but Chris Brown, 14 seconds was the margin to Ray Hislop, who passed 24 cars at the end to finish in second. Peter Ingram third, Michael Nagy was fourth, down to Michael Cruz, Andy Sarandis and Anthony Norris finishing in 10th, down to Cameron Vanendungen and Chris Redden down there in 14th and 15th places respectively, but some 55 seconds behind our race leader, our race winner, the man who got pole position earlier in the weekend. Ian Eldridge down in 16th, back to Ian Price, James Sutton in 22nd, and down to some of the lap cars, Brett Waters in 30th place of this race. I really have enjoyed calling this category this weekend. They've been a great addition the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's been terrific, hasn't it? Plenty of action all the way up and down the field. Unfortunately, our man Cam Vanendungen, he did make it to the checkered flag, but he didn't get much further past that. So we are following him. He's a great guy and provides us with plenty of entertainment from the pit lane, and terrific to see him out there racing his car this weekend.
Well, he might be able to find a screen and check out the highlights of his run in race number 3 of the improved production cars here at the Adelaide 500 today, as we let him loose. As when he missed the start by a couple of seconds, but managed to peel the cars off one by one on the run down here to the treacherous chicane. The cars went their way out into these streets on a beautiful Saturday morning. We watched Hislop. This is that 4-wide battle down the bottom. First of a couple of not major incidents in here, but certainly some panels being rubbed and damaged, and even a window shattering at one point. There was the 74 car being spun around down there at turn 7 of Wayne Reynolds. Vanendungen getting through Ian Statham there with a Mitsubishi Mat. This big moment here now.
Can't help but feel there was a brake failure. I did say it was rear brake, but I think it was front. The rears came locked on, spun that car around. Nasty incident.
Hislop getting 2 for the price of 1 down here on the run to the chicane. And again, he did the same thing yesterday, didn't he? Locking that left front. And it's such a funnel down there. It goes from being so wide. You can't go too wide through there. That's where he got past Ingram. Looks like Ingram just made it easy for him.
Yeah, he knew, and that was the sensible move to make, because he's got plenty of power in that car. But it was this man here, Chris Brown, who took the win.
Had plenty of power to burn, didn't he? The 86, the Newlon Toyota Sprinter, picking up another win in race number 3. Great way to start the day as we look towards the centre chicane. The sun's starting to peel through the trees. We'll take a short break. We're just warming up on day 3. It's race day here at the Adelaide 500.